Once again, YouTube, welcome to another video in the CCC series. If you're already subscribed, I would like to thank you for actually coming back. And if you're new, stay tuned because I'll be posting more videos like this very soon. Alright, so today's problem is going to be the CCC 2022 J2 problem, which is the second easiest question in the 2022 CCC. Hopefully, you guys find it to be as easy as I did. Before I start, I'll be using C++ to solve this problem, and if you would like to see it in any other language, you can leave it in the comment section below. Alright, let's dive straight into the problem. Okay, so this is the problem J2, and the name of the problem is Fergusonball ratings. Alright, the problem goes as follows. Fergusonball players are given a star rating based on the number of points that they score and the number of fouls they commit. Specifically, they are awarded 5 stars for each point scored and 3 stars are taken away for each foul that they commit. For every player, the number of points that they score is greater than the number of fouls they commit. Okay, yeah. Your job is to determine how many players on a team have a star rating greater than 40. You also need to determine if the team is considered a gold team, which means all the players have a star rating greater than 40. All right. The input specification now. The first line of input consists of a positive integer n, representing the number of players on a team. Okay. This is followed by a pair of consecutive lines for each player. The first line in a pair is the number of points that the player scored. Okay. The second line in the pair is the number of fouls that the player committed. All right. Both the number of points and the number of fouls are non-negative integers. All right, that's good to know. Output specification. Output the number of players that have a star rating greater than 40, immediately followed by a plus sign if the team is considered a gold team. Okay, and the gold team is a team where all of the players have a star rating greater than 40. Okay, let's look at sample inputs and outputs. So we have 3, so that means the positive integer n is 3. That means we actually have 3 players. So for the first player, from the inputs, you can see that the number of points he scored is actually 12, and the number of fouls he committed is 4. So the star rating for the first player is actually going to be 12 multiplied by 5 minus 3 multiplied by 4, since from the question said 5 stars are awarded for each point and 3 stars are taken away for each foul committed. So the first player, the player 1's star rating is going to be 12 times 5 minus 3 times 4, which is 48. Yeah, so that player is a star player or something like that. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. So the second player actually scored 10 points and committed 3 fouls. So if we want to calculate that, 10 times 5 is 50, minus 3 times 3, 9. So 50 minus 9, that is 41. So the second player has a star rating of 41. Note that that is also greater than 40. Then the third player, the last player, actually scored 9 points and got 1 foul, committed 1 foul. So the star rating is now going to be 9 times 5, which is 45, minus 3 times 1. So 45 minus 3 is 42, and that's also greater than 40. So there are 3 players who have a star rating greater than 40, and we notice that the 3 players, like in the whole team, there are also 3 players. So since the number of players is equal to the total number of players is equal to the number of players with a star rating greater than 40, we can add a plus at the end of our output. So yeah, I think we understand the problem. So I can move on straight into the solution code. Okay, so to start, include IOStream namespace std. Just in case you don't know what this include IOStream is, it's just a header file that allows me to accept inputs from the console and also print out some outputs to the console also. So then at the end, I'll just add my return 0 since the main function here is meant to return an integer from my definition. Okay, so in the problem, first of all, in the problem, we had an integer n. So that's going to be the first thing that we're going to declare. Okay. After that, we're meant to receive n, right? Okay. Then, when we receive n, we would have to, okay, when we receive n, can now think about how we're going to actually do this problem. We would also need to declare an integer count, and I'll initialize it to 0. So this is what we'll be using to count them. And now, since we don't actually know what n is and we need to receive 2 inputs for each player, I'll use a while loop for that to accomplish that. So while n, no, sorry, I'll use a for loop to accomplish that. So for int I equals to 0, let's just say 1, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. Okay, so now we would need to, for each player, we would need to collect the number of points they scored and the number of fouls they committed. So we'll need variables to store that. So just say int p or int points, which is the number of points they scored, and fouls, which is the number of fouls that they committed. So for the very first player, we will collect the number of points he or she scored, and we'll collect the number of fouls the person committed. Okay, now we have all this. We will also need to calculate the star rating. So to calculate the star rating, remember in the problem, we were told that for 1 point, 5 stars are given, and for 1 foul, 3 stars. 3 stars are taken. Okay, this is what we have to keep in mind here to calculate the star rating and check it. So regarding the star rating, if the star rating for a particular player is greater than 40, then we will need to increment our variable here count, because like since we want to count the number of players who have a star rating greater than 40, so if I can also declare like an integer here, star rating. Yeah, let's just do that. So we can say star rating is equal to 5 times number of points they scored minus 3 times number of fouls they committed. So this is how the star rating is calculated in the question. So if the star if the star rating is greater than 40, not greater than or equals to. Yeah, just have to clear that up. I almost made that mistake. If it's greater than 40, then we'll need to increment count. That's the only time we should increment count. Since if it's less than 40, less than or equal to 40, then they're obviously like it's not greater than 40, so we shouldn't count them. So let's just look through this. Yeah. So this will run for each player, blah blah blah. Then at the end of the program, sorry, at the end of this loop, we would have the number of players in this team of n players who have a star rating greater than 40. So our output specification says that if the team is a gold team, which means that all the players have a star rating greater than 40, we should also output a plus at the end. So we can simply do this. See out, first of all, is the number of players with star rating greater than that. Then after, we can write if count is equal to n. By the way, in C++, when you want to check, if you want to check a condition if two things are equal, it's actually a double equals to. But like if you want to check if something is greater than or less than something, it's just one greater than less than sign. Just want to clear that out. So if count is equal to n, then we will print plus at the end of it. Now, some might like see this and think that won't this like print something like maybe we'll have like let me say 3, then I have a plus under. No, it won't actually, because the C out, like it prints on one line, except you add at the end this. So this actually stands for end line. That means you want to end that line. So after it prints this, it should move to the next line. But that's not what we want to do here. We want it to be on the same line, like 3 plus with no space in between, I believe. So this is the code for the problem. And you can go back to the problem to see the sample tests and check if it works. I believe it should. Hopefully, we'll not get any errors. So let's go back to the problem. Okay. Okay, the sample inputs were given 3 players. Sample inputs were given 3 players. For the first player, said number of points he scored is 12, number of fouls he committed or she committed is 4. So let's go and put it in. So number of players is 3. Then first player, 12 points scored, 4 fouls committed. Second player was 10 and 3. Last third player, 9 and 1. So you can see here that we got 3 plus, which means that the team is a gold team. It means all the players had star rating greater than 40, which is the same thing that's on our outputs here. We can also try that with our sample input too. So in our sample input 2, we're given 2 players this time. This is it. Okay, let's go back to the code. All right, we're given 2 players, 8 and 0, 12 and 1. So here we got an output of 1, and notice it wasn't 1 plus, exactly what we wanted, because in the problem the output is 1. So yeah, at this point I'd like to say that we're done with this problem. That is it for the code. Okay, so this brings me to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video and understood my solution, please would you leave a like and subscribe for more videos in the CCC series. Also, if you would like to see all my solutions, I will be creating a GitHub repository very soon, where I'll post all of my code or most of my code in this channel. All right, thank you once again, and see you in the next video of the CCC series. Peace.